Hey, welcome to the Red Hour. We had to. If you guys are wondering why we're starting at 9 o'clock, we just wanted the late night edition of the Red Hour, which is
Quiet
why
storm.
we changed the intro too. Like, I mean, it seems like a Red Hour after dark with that intro, huh?
Yeah, this kind of this.
Red
Yeah,
Hour After Dark.
felt like
Wow.
a little quiet
Yeah, it's Red
storm.
Hour after
You
dark.
you definitely grew up with HBO in the house. Okay.
Wow. I
Oh
thought it was
man,
cinema after dark.
how
Okay.
well, you had that extra cable. With our cable, we only got the one. We got the HBO.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you had anything else other than that? You got money. You
Right.
tell me. You tell me what other channels it was.
Oh man, fellas, how we doing tonight?
doing good. All
Good.
things being considered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
all
Just
things being
glad
considered.
to
Something we need to know about.
Nah, man, I just want, want to get some rest, man. I'll be glad when this season over with, man. So we can get some rest, some much needed rest.
Man, yeah. Speaking of the season, of course. Oh man, we're recapping tonight's it's the show
Yeah.
tonight. We're recapping Christmas
Yeah.
night at Arrowhead, where the Chiefs fall to the Denver Broncos 20-13. A frustrating night for not only Chiefs but Chiefs
Yeah.
fans. And it's a familiar script and a game that this game from Christmas night really summed up where this team is at right now.
Mhm.
Fellas, we can get into it if you guys are ready.
Of course.
I
All right, we
think
can
y'all
go ahead.
am I coming through good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think Chiefs Kingdom, outside of how the season has ended, outside of not being able to make the playoffs, outside of, well, this is part of Patrick being hurt, but for the kid that they have at quarterback, I forget how to say his name, Chris something. Um,
Oladoka.
for that kid to be the immediate backup now to Patrick Mahomes whenever he's set to return, like that sh- that should be like that should be like a victory cry. I don't know what to call it, but it should be it should be what is it? I can't think of the saying. Is it like the canary in a coal mine or something? I forget what the saying it is, but it's just like it's like a ray of light in darkness, basically. Because like
Diamond in
Patrick
the
being
rough.
hurt, diamond in the rough. Nah, maybe not diamond in the rough. I forget the saying I'm going for, but but that kid has some promise. All of that to say, like to dance all around that. I think we saw it. The first week he played when he came in, he wasn't very bad. You saw a lot of the mannerisms that he had that you could tell he got just from watching Patrick over the last couple of years. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you should be able to rest assured that the kingdom is going to be in good hands with somebody that has that type of promise behind him, and not just some guy they pulled off of a coaching staff in high school mid-season.
Yeah, and let's start with the big picture. Um, of course, it's a one score game late. We all pretty much knew that's how it was going to go down. Tied at 13 in the fourth quarter, and once again, similar to all things that has happened this year, the Chiefs couldn't close it out late. Um, I mean, Denver 303 total yards, Chiefs 139. Time of possession, Denver you pretty much ruled that 39 minutes for their time of possession. Chiefs only 20 minutes. The Chiefs ran 42 offensive plays. Darren, I know we talk a lot about this offense throughout this season. 42 offensive plays is not winning football. Only 10 first downs. What did you see from this team?
It's funny. I saw more effort, I guess, and for a team that essentially had nothing to play for, especially coming off the injuries and being eliminated from the playoffs. If you think about it, they actually had a chance, even with the 42 offensive plays and the time of possession. they still had a chance to either tie the game or even win the game if Chris Jones doesn't jump off sides, towards the end of the game, because Sean Payton said in his press conference that they wasn't planning on running the play. They were going to let the clock run down, take the 5 yard penalty, move back 5 yards, and kick a field goal, and it'd be a 16-13 lead. Chiefs would then have the opportunity, of course, to either go down, kick a game time field goal, or possibly win the game. So the sheer fact that with just a couple of minutes left to go in the ball game, that they had a chance to either tie the game up or even try to win it, says a lot about the heart of a lot of these players coming out of that game. And so, I mean, I was more impressed with the way that the Chiefs played, because they were essentially a 2 touchdown underdog, and so
Yeah.
uh, to have the lead, to have the lead going into the half, and then of course tying the game up in the fourth quarter, before ultimately losing the game, I thought was pretty impressive, all things being equal.
Darren, I'm sorry, Q. Other than the quarterback, what jumps out first to you?
Um, because I don't want to say I don't want to say the defense is in a good spot. Um, and I say that because of the recent success behind a Spagnolo led defense. Um,
Mm.
I, I I think the defense could get better. I think this was kind of a dress rehearsal for next season to kind of see what's needed. Looking towards the draft, like what can be some possible positions to really evaluate deeply, and especially who could you know not only be traded, but who can be that piece that kind of moves this defense forward. Um, as far as like trades or acquiring other assets, I I don't know. I don't see much promise with that. And
And
mostly,
and
mm,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, you started with the D tonight. We can start with that. I mean, you when you think about it, you got to give credit where it's due. The defense kept the game within reach. I mean, you
Yeah,
had Nick Bolton, who had 6 tackles plus 1 interception. We haven't seen them create turnovers, especially Nick Bolton coming up with the interception. I mean, he's
No,
dropped a
Nick
couple
had 12.
this season already. They only allowed 175 passing yards. I mean, at the end of
I
the
mean that's
day,
both.
no matter how the game is played, this Denver team, this Denver offense, they're the number one team in the AFC. So for a team that's not going to make the playoffs, I'm talking Chiefs. For a team that's not going to make the playoffs, they had the game tied with 13 with 8 minutes and 3 seconds left um, in the game, and they held Denver 2 for 2 on field goals. So I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. I think this defense has turned the corner from where they were early in the season.
No, and that's why I was speaking more towards like going into the off season. Because I mean it's Bo Nix. I mean, are we really expecting Bo Nix to torch a division rival like that? Me, I'm not. I'm not. I'll say that I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah. I mean, they're
expecting
just
Bo
enough.
Nix to
I'm
do
just
that.
I'm just
But
thinking. I mean, they're still the number one team in the AFC. You gotta. I
no,
mean,
I give you that. I give you that because you have two very unlikely teams that are in the top three right now in the AFC in the top three spots. And you have hold on, I clicked off of it. But yeah, you have Denver, New England, and Jacksonville. Like nobody had them as playoff teams, much less, being the top teams in the division. And especially for how we've seen the AFC shake out over the last 7-8 years, whether it's
yeah,
Cincinnati, Buffalo, the Chiefs, and then you always got that one outlier, whether it's Houston or whoever it is, between like Buffalo, Houston, teams like that. And so to be able to have that, yes, that's a surprise, but I'm not expecting a Bo Nix to go out and be like astronomically better at the end of the year. Like I think New England and Denver are teams that are both susceptible. I think Denver a lot more than maybe the New England and the Jacksonville teams. I think Jacksonville is a quietly powerful team. But saying all that to say, like, these are teams that the 2026 Chiefs are gonna have to be up against, and whatever boost of confidence that this season gives to those teams, but then also takes away from this Chiefs team. Like, yes, it's good that they had that game close, but also I think that's a game that it could have been very winnable.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
Darren, I
disagree.
know.
I disagree with your Denver take. I mean, Denver. I think if Patrick Mahomes would have been healthy, I think the Chiefs still would have lost this game. The
Oh,
thing
You think
is,
so?
really?
yeah, because this isn't a Bo Nix led team. This is a defensive led team. I mean,
Yes.
this
Yes.
team is
Hmm.
built defensively, and they were beat. They were built defensively to beat Kansas City. Now, and the thing is, they get the number one seed, which I believe, if they win this weekend or how, or New England, yeah, if they win this weekend, which they should, because the Chargers are going to sit Justin Herbert, so they should be able to win this game easily. They win this game, everything has to go through Denver. Of course, the mile high stuff, that is true. I mean, that ain't a myth. Being a mile high is going to have an effect on the teams when they come into play there. And Bo Nix just doesn't have to turn the ball over, because they get a lot of good offense with him running the football, RJ Harvey running the football, and of course he spreads the ball around evenly. So it's hard to pick and choose. And that defense, we've seen what that defense has been able to do on Thursday Night Football on primetime, and we've seen firsthand what they can do to Kansas City. And Pat Surtain, whoever the number one receiver is going to get locked up by him. And that front four and the linebacking crew from Denver, they are to me next to Houston, probably the top two defensive teams. And so for me, because everything's got to go through Denver, I like Denver's chances. Saying to make it all the way to San Francisco.
Because who are they? Is it them or Houston that leads the league in sacks right now? I forget what it was.
Probably Houston, probably one of those two. I know Denver has a lot of sacks. I know Houston does as well, because I know they got 8 against Buffalo a few games ago on that Thursday night game. So, but
Mhm.
But
again,
it,
the pressure that they're
I
going to
just
be able.
think
Go ahead, Steve.
I just think if you're throwing the what ifs out there, I mean you got to say, if you're throwing the what ifs, if Mahomes is not injured, then you've got to say, what if everybody is healthy? What if the Chiefs have their offensive linemen healthy? Right? Like it's
I
a different
see.
it's a different game
If
if
that
you
were the
got the what
case,
ifs.
Steve, if that was the case, I see the same thing happen in Kansas City that happened in Denver while you were there, because
Mhm.
Sertan is gonna whether it's Rice or whether he's gonna take them out the game, and that's gonna mess up. And then of course you got Riley Moss as well. Moss been locking people down as well. I mean, we saw. I mean, that that's the beauty about having division foes. You get to play twice a year. We saw what they did in Denver, and the one thing that we know, if nothing else about football, defense travels.
But they ain't
Mhm.
proved. Here's my thing about their defense. They ain't proved nothing yet. Yeah, they won some games, but what have they proven?
No,
So
They
they
ain't.
proved
okay,
by
well,
What
winning.
have they
They proved by
proven?
winning games.
okay,
What?
Steve.
They
They
they win-
proven
they
by
won
winning
some
the
games
AFC. Hold
on
on, hold on.
no
They
no
won
no
the
no no no.
AFC
I'm
West,
not gonna let y'all
Steve.
do that.
Nah, it's not.
I'm not gonna let y'all
Hold
do
on,
that. No, I'm not gonna let
Steve.
y'all.
That's why
This
they hold
no
on.
no no.
That's
What
why they
have
play
they?
the game, Steve. Isn't that why they play the
Yeah,
game?
I get hundred
Well,
percent.
okay.
However,
And hold on. And
they haven't won anything.
the games they played, they had well. First of all, they knocked Kansas City off from being the AFC West champions. So
Yeah.
they won that. They got home field, and they're gonna have home field advantage. So that's the start. Because just like Kansas City, when they won, when they started they run, Steve, they were winning the
Mhm.
AFC championship. I mean the AFC West, getting us securing a home game, and then going the rest of the way by with their defense and offense and having home field advantage. So you got to let the season play out first before you try to say what have they won.
I Yeah, that's what I was
At that
getting
boy,
to. That's
hey, at
exactly
that
where I
boy
was going with this.
stuttering
But
cute.
but you
At that
played
boy
the what if
stuttering.
game. But no, you played the
Yeah.
what if game, and I'm gonna play. I was willing to play that game with you,
That's
with
fine. Go
saying
for it.
it'd be a much different game if Mahomes is healthy and they had the offensive line healthy. Like it would have been a much different game because then you have the running game that's a little bit that plays a little bit differently, and you have Mahomes that could take more chances because he has more time with the offensive line that he
Yeah.
trusts. So if you're playing the what
We're
if
not going to be
game,
running the
we
football as
can we
much.
can we
You
can
know
do
this
that.
well as I do.
And
We
that's
can
what
play the what if
and
and that
game.
and
and that
and if you want to continue to play the what if game, the game is much different if that offensive line is healthy 3-4 weeks ago.
yeah,
They're
I
playing a
mean,
much different game if they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like
hey,
it's a
maybe
no,
it's a
maybe
much
hey,
not.
hey,
different
C,
game.
Maybe not.
hold on, QC. You know what? That offensive line was healthy in week 1 against the Chargers, and they couldn't,
Exactly.
and they couldn't
Exactly.
win that game.
And that's where I'm
Yeah,
going with it. Like,
100%.
yeah, you could
Okay.
like because you could definitely what if about the offensive line. Like we do that every time Patrick Mahomes loses a big game. They did it when he lost to Tom Brady. Like, what if X, Y, and Z? What if he didn't hurt his ankle? Like, we could keep what ifing, but I think moving forward, and I agree with LaCroix that you just put up there. I definitely think towards the draft they need to be focused on those two positions, and none of their focus needs to be on running back. One,
What?
if you
Whoa.
okay, let me finish. I saw both of y'all
All
rear back. Like
Oh, I
my
wasn't
pants,
real back about
my
that. I
my
mean,
pants are my pants are
All
still
right.
on. I didn't whip out on y'all. Like, but
oh, pause. Hold on,
Oh,
hold on,
like
wait,
hold
wait,
like
on.
let's
Hey,
calm
whoa.
hey,
down.
slow down,
I
brother.
said
Uh,
it was after dark. We
but
had to go that far.
exactly. But nah,
No,
like
Whoa.
no, this
but
ain't
what I'm
lockdown, bro.
but what I'm saying is that they don't need to focus on running back because I think Mike made the point on the W show one of them Saturdays where if you get a Brees Hall, you're not going to use him. Like you're going to draft a
I've
running
been saying
back
that all year.
to so you're going to draft a running back to put him in a carousel with others. Like, so my point is that yes, you need an O line or an edge. One, an edge that's going to be uh, a nice counter to a Chris Jones. Like, assuming he's still here and not traded. I don't think they trade him. I don't know if anybody wants this version of Chris Jones, but if you still have Chris Jones, you need somebody else that's just as effective as he is, and especially somebody younger that can take up more of the double teams, that can take some attention away. So that way you have two decent edge guys, along with Chris Jones being on the inside. But then even if you draft somebody on the O line, I would rather them in the first round get somebody that's on the O line, whether it's a dominant guard or a dominant tackle, and you let them develop, and especially to get some experience. If Patrick is hurt, say if Patrick is still out, what, the first 6 to 8 games, I want that young guy to get that experience in that moment versus when Patrick comes back and then trying to get him to start. And now Patrick is, he may have something in his head that his knee ain't right. So if Patrick's not playing at 100% or as fearless as he can be coming off of an injury like that, like, you want this offensive lineman to have a little bit of experience going into that and the game to slow down a little bit more. I don't think that they need to focus outside of those at all. Like, you don't need another wide receiver. Like, you could actually give up two wide receivers right now. Like, you don't you have a lot of things covered. If Travis retires, okay, yes, you may need a tight end, but I think you guys should be fine with the Noah Grays of the world that's on the team. Like, I think there's a lot of holes that could be fixed that's awaiting for a healthy Patrick Mahomes to come back, than to still be chasing the ghost of Tyreek Hill and trying to get the next fastest wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah, since you went to the offense, let's dive into them real quick before we take a break.
Mhm.
Um, Chris Oladokun, 13 for 22, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Chiefs passing total, 57 net passing yards. Kareem Hunt, 7 carries, 38 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 9 carries, 32 yards. Uh, Receiving, Travis Kelsey led this Chiefs receiving crew, 5 catches, 36 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster with 3 for 16. Rasheed Rice was has been shut down the past couple games, so he didn't play. Xavier Worthy, 0 catches. Had a couple of targets, one significant target that he stepped out of bounds on, and the other one was a drop. Um, the Chiefs, the offense just couldn't stay on the field. There, they didn't have they didn't have any explosive plays, um, no rhythm, and when you're asking defense to stay out there for almost 40 minutes, it's not sustainable that way. Your thoughts?
No, it's definitely not sustainable. I mean, but again, it was it was. I guess the big question is, what were we expecting? I mean, we were just hoping, well, we were just hoping for something competitive, saying, to at least show that you're not going to give up the fight, and that you're just not going to give up, that you're going to show up and play. And to be honest, I mean, when they initially, I think it was the opening drive. I can't remember if they scored a field goal or they held them, and then because I know they ended up scoring a field goal in the first quarter. I just couldn't remember if it was on the first, second drive, but once they were able to stop them, look, Tom Payton said, look, they were trying to win the game. It wasn't that they were trying to blow them out; they were trying to win. He said after the
It
game
was a
that,
field goal that first drive.
okay, yeah. So I remember Payton said after the game that you know he wasn't even worried about telling his players about how long it had been since they won at Arrowhead. His thing was, you know, whether they made the playoffs or not, that's still he talked about he complimented the Chiefs about them having the heart of a champion. I mean, they were still the defending AFC champions, coming into that game, and of course 3-time Super Bowl winners right now. And so he would not let them think just because that they didn't make the playoffs that this was going to be an easy game to come in there and win. And of course the crowd and the crowd had a lot to do with it as well. I mean, obviously they didn't know whether that was going to be Kelsey's last game, and we still don't know obviously if this was his last game or not. But I would say because I think you were a little bit more surprised that Kelsey didn't get into the end zone because we thought that he would be targeted more than even he was. He was targeted 6 times and had 5 catches. But you know, I, I guess the biggest surprise is that well, they did it because of the necessity, because they shut some of the players down, but they finally shortened their rotation of wide receivers. But again, you have Brashard Smith essentially playing the role of a wide receiver when he's a running back who did
Mhm.
not get any carries. I mean, you had Xavier Worthy running the football, one time for a yard, and it's like, I go back to Q, but I don't, I'm not even Mike. I mean, I've been saying this all season long when they talked about trying to trade for Brees Hall at the midpoint. I'm like, why? Because you don't run the football as it is. So bringing Priest Hall in, explosive player or not, yeah, he'll stay on the field, but you're not going to utilize the run game like that. And I mean, Kareem Hunt 7 carries for 38 yards. That was a 5.5. I mean, to be honest, they should have been running the football a lot more.
A lot more.
With but I mean, again, I keep trying to beat everybody over the head about it. They do not run the football like that. I mean, and we may or may not mention it, but of course, Andy Reid talked about it in his presser today that he expects to be back next year unless the Chiefs say otherwise. And so when people say, "Okay, Matt Nagy leave and bring somebody else in," if Andy Reid is still the play caller, they are not going to run the football like people think that they will. They just won't do it.
And that's again where I'm saying, like, I feel like the Chiefs need to concentrate on doing something different. And there's a lot of different things there's a lot of things that they can do different, but I think part of that difference needs to be like another evolution of Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid had his big evolution when he got Donovan McNabb, and that's when the Eagles really became this like throw the ball up the field type of team, score a lot of points, rack up on the yards. And he took that philosophy to the Chiefs. But now you're in these later stages of your career as a coach. Like it's like a LeBron. Like LeBron can't jump as high and as often as he used to. So now LeBron has to work on other parts of his game. And I mean, he's still a good shooter and all that. But I think Andy Reid, as far as his play calling and his offensive genius, it leans too much on the pass. And that's been a knock on him for a very long time. And him winning Super Bowls kind of uncovered that over the past couple of years. But now I think it's time for people in the media that are and people that are in and out that building every week. Like, how do we progress this game to be, well, the strategy of the offense to be more run focused or even just balanced? Like it doesn't even have to be run focused. It could just be
As
balanced.
But let me ask y'all this: the Chiefs ran the ball in this game, because everywhere they even had a run play, so they ran the ball 17 times, and that's not including
Unacceptable.
the two times that Chris Oladokin, took off running. With those 16 run plays from Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, they what 70 yards rushing between the two guys. How many running plays do you think Saquon Barkley had this past week against the Bills without anybody looking?
I don't know.
I
But
don't
I,
believe
I
it.
but I know Tank.
19,
I know
19.
Tank. But I know Tank
But
Bigsby also got some carries and some touches too.
So
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 again, it
so
was a little more
Saquon
balanced.
so Saquon got 19 rushes
how
for
many yards?
68 yards, the equivalent of basically those two guys, Isaiah
But you hold
Pacheco
on.
and Kareem Hunt.
But you
Hold
know,
on, let
hold
me
on.
finish. Let me finish. How many rushes do you think that attempts do you think that James Cook had?
I don't
Against
know.
the
I
Anybody know?
gotta go
Eagles.
look at it.
Against the Eagles? 20. 20. You ain't got to go look 20. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
For 74 yards.
How
Hmm.
many did Josh
So
Allen have too, though?
Josh Allen
Josh
has
Allen
7 for
had
27 yards.
7
7
rushes.
for 27. Then you had Ty Johnson with 5 for 15, and then Ray Davis one carry for 4 yards. All I'm saying is that you guys are saying that Andy Reid does not run the ball. However, if you look at the total offense that the Chiefs did on last Thursday compared to that of Saquon Barkley, it's almost equivalent. Almost. And I'm saying there's give or take a couple runs or whatever, but it's almost equivalent.
But Steve, let's see.
It
Here's
just
the
it just
here's
it
the
just looks differently because they're not
Yes,
successful at doing it.
and if
but
we go to the what if Patrick was in the game, they would have threw 35 to 40.
and probably would have ran for 15. But Steve, but you leave out the context because here's the thing: Saquon and James Cook, when they run the football, the play call that they have, it actually has an effect on the game. You know, what I
And
mean,
I'm
they're not.
glad you said that.
Yes, yes,
Glad
yes,
you said
yes,
that.
yes. Come on.
Which means they need
I'm glad I said it.
a running back because
No.
even if you get 15 carries
No.
from a guy, but no, listen, but even if you
No.
get 15 carries from a guy, those 15 carries got to be worth money. They just do.
Who do
If you know
Okay,
you're going to
so
go
who
get
do
15 carries,
okay. So out of these three coaches, out of Matt Nagy,
huh,
out of Andy Reid, and out of Eric Bieniemy, out of the three playbooks that those guys own and probably have for themselves, who do you think has a better run package?
the former running back,
Oh,
the former running back. I mean, yeah, the
Exactly.
former running back
So if
because we
if
saw it. We saw it with when they had
because we don't
Damian Williams, when they had when we can
oh
go through the list of running backs that they had.
some very unlikely guys that produced in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. And that's a good one,
Exactly.
Darius, that he brought up. What if the reason we don't run the football because Andy knows how
That's
ineffective our running backs are? Maybe we run the
that's
ball
not it.
more if we have a
no,
real
no, no,
workhorse.
no,
I
no.
That's
Hold
think
not
on, hold
it
on, hold on,
because
hold on, hold on, hold on.
that's been Andy
Andy brought them
Reid
all
for his
back. Andy
career.
brought them all back. Andy brought them all back. Andy co-signed with these players getting signed to the team. No, 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 no,
Yes.
no, no, no.
Look,
Nah.
and
Ain't no getting no
Darius,
tickets for
look,
this.
Darius being a Chiefs fan, I could see how you would want to shoot bail for Andy Reid for all the good things that he's done for this
that's shooting him
organization
Bell.
over the last 13. Oh, that's
It's not shooting
definitely
him
shooting
Bell.
him bail.
I
For
don't think so.
to even have that assumption for a guy that over his career as a coach and a play caller is 70-30. Like it's not even close. Like he's 70-30 pass heavy. And that's what
I
I'm
like to look
saying.
those
Like,
numbers up. Andy Reid's career, what his run versus pass ratio is.
yeah, and it's going to be anywhere from 60-40 to 70-30. And it's not even going to be close cuz I mean, even when he was with the Eagles, Donovan McNabb threw the ball 30-40 times a game. And you had your who was it?
What'd
Brian
you say? What'd you
Westbrooks, your
say?
Deuce Staley's. Like you
What'd you
had
say?
capable running
Q.
backs.
What'd you think his
Hmm?
run pass ratio is over his career?
It's anywhere from 60-40 to 70-30, and
Hit the nail
I'm
on the head.
hinging
60,
I'm
60
hinging
40.
Yeah. And he's ran the
60-40.
ball. He's ran the ball a lot more when he had a Jamal Charles than he ever had. And I haven't
Yeah,
even looked at those stats, and I'm willing to bet that. But that's his coaching tendencies. Like that was his knock in Philadelphia. That's why they wanted to run him out of there, because you have, very capable running backs, and they're getting, 8 to 10 carries a game for a carousel of 3. Like, and you don't even have to do that. Like, you could
yeah.
definitely use them in different spots. But that's where I'm saying, like, where does Andy evolve in that? And I come to that point because Patrick doesn't need to be Superman anymore. Like it's enough for Patrick to be able to do what he does in the first 3 quarters of the game, and then in the fourth quarter, if you need to run the ball, you can. Or if Patrick needs to pass you back into the game for a win, we've seen that he can. Like I don't understand being so anti. Like, it's a passing league. Yes, the NFL is a passing league. Chicks dig the long ball type of
They do.
mentality.
They
No, they
do.
don't. No, they don't. But
Yeah, they
either
do.
either women that passively watch football, they watching men in tight pants. I don't think they care about how far the
We
ball
got
is
some women
thrown.
on the chat feed. If y'all watch women, man, let us
No,
know.
I'm
Why
saying
do you watch
that
football?
passively. I'm not talking about women that are football fans. I'm saying
Oh,
passive
okay.
football fans. But
Okay.
no, I think Andy Reid definitely needs to evolve in that portion of the game. So whether it is pulling in somebody that's similar to an Eric Bieniemy that has a run package that you can utilize, like I definitely think that makes this team, it returns this team back to the dominance that we've seen over the past 5-6 years.
But and one thing before we take a break, one thing that you just said that has me is kind of a head scratcher. Q is I think is performative, really, meaning the evolution of Andy Reid. Because I mean, we've seen Andy Reid; he gets his kudos for some of the plays that he has, and I mean, you think about what was the ring around the Rosie play, the play from the Super Bowl. I mean, you talk about the evolution, and I think Andy has evolved with the time, and people are still trying to catch up to some of the stuff that he's done. Just
No,
think about all the plays that he's run. So I'll give some bail. What you said, Darius shot. I'll give bail to
and
Andy Reid. I know Darren, you watched these plays too, so you got to give
and I'll
some bail to
and
Andy on
so
that.
I'll counter with that too, because again, y'all are fairly new Andy Reid fans. Because Andy Reid is one of those coaches that he will watch games from Pop Warner to high school to
Sure,
college
sure,
and pull
sure.
out all of the different plays that they run and that he sees that are really attractive to him. And normally
Yeah,
it's passing plays, like very exotic passing plays. Like, that's where the greatness of Andy Reid is, because he came up in a time where, and especially with the Donovan McNabbs, where you come into a league with an athletic quarterback that could run and throw the ball, but also is cerebral enough to pull off these trick plays and these difficult concepts. Because when he had when in the Alex Smith era, when the Chiefs couldn't beat the Peyton Manning Broncos, like the
they wasn't
Chiefs
doing
were
that.
running
They wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that.
the
No,
Chiefs were
with Alex
running
Smith.
Broncos plays. They were running Broncos plays and schemes. So yes, he's good at pulling them out and using them live in the game, especially in games that matter. But also, like, outside of the cute stuff, like, it's okay to get down and dirty in football and run the ball.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right, let's take a quick break. Coming up, we're gonna look around the league, and man, it's been some crazy scores like this game tonight. I thought the Falcons are going to run away with it on Monday Night Football. The game is 17-24. If you're not watching Monday Night Football and watching us, continue to watch us. We appreciate you. We'll be right back. This is the Red Hour.
Tony Coles. Let the band play.
right, back in on the Red Hour. We appreciate you guys spending your late night watching our late night edition of the Red Hour. We're virtual tonight. Appreciate you guys, like I said, watching the show. Normally we're 6:30 to 7:30 every Monday night during football season. Fellas, let's look around the league at some of the happenings from yesterday and also the holiday week. Um, Man, we can start with Cowboys Commanders. What'd you guys think about that game Thursday night or Thursday afternoon?
I
It
feel like it
was.
seemed like it was so long ago, I almost forget the game, but it felt like it was an exciting game, and it shouldn't have been
Yeah,
as exciting as it was.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to say some people from the Celtics. They was willing. They were about to bet $300 that the Commanders were going to win. I said, "Hold on, man, save your money. Don't do that." It was. I mean, it was a decent. I mean, it was more enjoyable than it probably had any business. Business being. But I mean, it was a cool game. I mean, for just like for the Chiefs, that game didn't mean anything for either team. So it was entertain. Excuse me, it was entertaining to start the Christmas day off.
The other Thursday game, two toothless 8-8 teams uh fighting against each other. The Vikings beat the Lions. Are you guys surprised about how the Lions season has gone this year?
I
Yeah,
mean,
because
with
the Lions had an outside chance of still making the playoffs. So for them to lose that game, it was well, not even for them to lose, but the manner in which they lost that game, it was like they came out flat. All the offensive calls that Dan Campbell was calling just wasn't working. And of course, a lot of people like to get on Shador Sanders about his little turnovers. Jared Goff turned the ball over 5 times in a row.
uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. That's a cardinal rule.
I'm just
Like
saying.
that's a cardinal sin. You
What's that?
criticizing a Jared Goff or a Matt Stafford that's thrown 3 interceptions tonight,
Bruh.
or the all of
Three. I
these
thought he threw
MVP.
four. He threw four. I thought four, 3 or 4. Was it four?
Who Jared?
Jared Goff.
Who?
Yeah, Jared Goff.
No,
I
no,
thought it
no.
was
Jared Goff threw
no
two,
Matt
but I'm
Stafford. I'm
saying,
talking Matt Stafford. I thought he's on his fourth interception tonight.
I was just
Maybe I
looking
could
at.
be
I
wrong.
thought it was just three, but either way, like
Got 3 interceptions.
you gotta leave your criticisms to the Jalen Hurts and the Lamar Jacksons of the world. But nah, to answer your question, no, I'm not surprised that the Lions fell off like this, because when you lose a coordinator like a Ben Johnson that just went over to the Bears and completely turned this team around with the talent that he has on the team already, plus some additions on defense, like it's not surprising because it's Jared Goff. Like, you have all of these weapons and you can't even string together some playoff wins. But I,
Mm.
I I bet you there's a lot of people that will pick a Jared Goff before they pick a Jalen Hurts.
Mm. Another surprising
I ain't
team,
one
at
of
least
them.
for me,
So
the Texans 11-5 now after they beat the 11-5 Chargers 20-16 in
The
LA.
the Texans are a team like Jacksonville that I'm just like quietly rooting for, because they have all of the potential to be there.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Look, I like their defense. Q for me, as much as I like C.J. Stroud, he just hasn't played
He's not there yet.
like that
Yeah, he's
rookie of
not
the
there yet.
year. And I'm saying he hadn't played as well as he did 2 years ago when he was rookie of the year. And so if I see that CJ Stroud in the playoffs, because he's got good offensive skill players around him. If he shows up with that defense, bro, I'm telling you, man, it'll be a scenario where I can see Houston going to Denver, and that game be like a 7-6 ball game because of just how good the defenses are.
Because
And I
I
think I
mean,
think I think I think he is mentally. I feel like he's mentally. It's all mental with him, with CJ Stroud. I really
Mhm.
do. I think it's
it
all. I
could
think it's all mental.
it could be, but with him, and with a lot of young quarterbacks, it takes some time to really come into your own like that. But with a team like the Texans, with a defense that they have, but then having Woody Marks, I'm new to Woody Marks this year. I didn't know he was
He's a
such
rookie, so
a talent. I mean, I'm saying even before that, I didn't know, wasn't privy to him till about 5 weeks ago. Um, but him and Nick Chubb plus the who is this, Jawar Jordan, because they have three very capable running backs that can carry this team through the playoffs, especially with the type of defense that they play. It's just um, very tough bully ball that they play, and it's gonna be tough to beat them. You really gonna have to knock CJ Stroud off his square to be able to beat this team in the playoffs.
I tell you who was knocked off their square, the Green Bay Packers. The Ravens beat up on them 41-24. Couple of backup quarterbacks playing in this game. Really not surprising. I feel like the Raiders still had the better team. They have an
Ravens.
outside chance of
You
getting
mean the
in
Ravens?
as well.
Ravens, yeah.
The Ravens, yeah, Ravens.
Yeah, nah, but really impressed with Malik Willis. Another one of those quarterbacks that probably will never get his just due because of what he looks like. But he's one of those guys that if he needs to start you a stretch of 4 to 5 games, you could be sure to win at least half of them, if not more. And he could be a starter on some teams around the league.
The Seahawks got the Panthers. The reason why they're 13-3, 27-10 in that game. Really not surprised about that one. Then you had the Bengals 37-14 over the Cardinals. You mentioned the Browns. They beat the Steelers. They're now 4-12. Steelers are 9-7. 13-6. You guys surprised about that?
Nope.
Nah. And I was watching I've been getting on TikTok a lot lately, and I was watching one of those film breakdown games of Aaron Rodgers missing about 5-6 like different reads because he was trying to throw a deep ball. And I know a lot of the media won't talk about it because Shador threw an interception. But like, yeah, exactly. We could emphasize on that on a rookie, but a guy that's
no, I'm just saying you said one. I just had to make it
no,
clean.
no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's going to be the emphasis of the game versus like this veteran quarterback that's a Hall of Famer that is playing so terribly at the end of his career.
Stu said Malik Willis. Continuing to look around the league, you had the Jaguars, who are now 12-4, beat the Colts 8-8. No surprise there. The Dolphins at 7-9 beat another 7-9 Buccaneers team, 20-17. Then the Pats, New England Patriots, 42-10, beat up on the Jets. Patriots now moved to 13-3.
Yeah, I know it's illegal to talk about Baker Mayfield's MVP run right now.
Oh yeah, Baker. After he got injured, he just hadn't been the same player.
Oh, it was an injury that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It was. I mean,
that's what it was.
And you know what's crazy about that is that
he was definitely outplayed.
Hold on, Steve, because you going somewhere. And so what's crazy is next week's game against the Panthers. One of those teams are going to be the NFC South champion at 8-9, getting into the playoffs. I mean, so as bad as Baker has played in all the games that they've lost, they still got a chance to get to the playoffs next week, which is just
it's just luck of the draw with the division.
Hey, it should keep him in the MVP conversation.
Because you remember that I remember what year that was. That 7-9 was gonna. I think it was the Philly and Dallas. You remember when they were both 7-9 and they were getting playoffs? Was like top in that division? I can't remember what year was that. Was that 2022?
That was a while back. But Seattle, if I remember correctly, they made it to the playoffs. I think either with a 6-9-1 record or a 7-8-1 record.
Yeah, crazy guys. The Saints at 6-10 beat the Titans 34-26. The Giants and the Raiders. Raiders is they're in tank mode for sure. Beat they lost to the Giants 34-10.
Did you see that Mason Crosby video of him shooting at his home court?
Max
Crosby, yeah. Max Crosby, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Well, we got a tie ball game too, fellas.
Placed him on when they placed him on IR that same day. He was shooting jump shots in his home gym.
And as much as Q wants to downplay the MVP run of Matt Stafford, he just, like Darren said, just tied it up. Well, just 23-24 to be tied after the field goal. But they were down 21-0, Skunks.
I
Yeah.
mean, he wouldn't have to do that if he didn't throw 3 interceptions. So I guess throwing a touchdown makes up for playing like that. That's the MVP though. I mean, that's the MVP. That's Josh Allen did the same thing last year. He was throwing arm punts. Like Matt Stafford got 3 arm punts.
Arm.
That's strategy. That's
Oh my goodness.
strategy.
All
Jalen
right, when
Hurts
you
doesn't
mention
have that
arm
kind of
punts,
smart.
mention arm punts. 11-5 Eagles beat the Bills 13-12.
Yes, indeed. What was the stat since 2023? 7-0 against all of these other MVP candidates in the league. Crazy. It's crazy to see. Crazy to see for a running
Jalen
back.
Hurts 13-27, 110 yards for 1 touchdown pass. Josh Allen 20 of 35, 262, no touchdown passes in that game. Brandon Cooks though
And only
had
He
101
got two
and
receiving
only
touchdown
yards.
runs though.
and only scored on a tush push, the play they trying to get rid of. So
Yeah, yeah.
funny how that happens
All right,
for
we're gonna
MVP
take
candidates.
we're gonna take another quick break. Coming up, we'll dive in where do the Chiefs go from here. They go out to Las Vegas, right? To play the Raiders coming up next Sunday. We'll dive into that. Stick around. This is the Red Hour.
Tony Combs. Let the band play.
Sway.
Back in on the Red Hour. I appreciate everyone sticking around, hanging out with us on this late night edition. Started the show 9 o'clock. We're ending in about 8 minutes, 7 minutes really, at 10 p.m. Central Time. Thank you guys for the late night edition. Fellas, the Chiefs head out to Las Vegas, take on the Raiders, two teams in the AFC West. Who would have thunk it that both these teams would not be in the playoffs this season?
Nobody expected the Raiders to be in there. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
not surprising.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you look at this game, of course, they look, if the Chiefs lose this game, we got problems because the Raiders, as you mentioned earlier, doing everything to tank and get the number one overall pick. Of course, if they lose, they will get it. They have an 80% shot right now. So if they lose the game, they'll get the number one seed, and then whether or not they'll probably use it to either draft a quarterback, which would, I guess, could potentially be Fernando Mendoza, or they could use it to trade someone for a lot of picks for the future and other assets. So that's the way it turns out.
So
Speaking
real,
of the draft, no.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, speaking of the draft, if the Raiders wanted to trade the Chiefs the number one pick for Chris Jones, who's taking that deal?
The number one pick for Chris Jones, I would say go player for player with Max Crosby and Chris Jones.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
Nah, I'm taking that.
But realistically though, what should Chiefs fans be watching? Realistically, be watching for the rest of the season and this last game of the season. Q, I'll start with you.
That the backup QB Chris. Chris Ola. What I haven't
Oladokin.
tried to say his
Oladokin.
Oladokin. Yeah, I hadn't
Yeah.
tried to say his name enough. But nah, I think Chiefs fans should look forward to that. And also look forward to Andy Reid kind of like tweaking his philosophy and running a little more to help the young guy out. Especially to get him some quality reps. Like I don't want to see him going out there ripping off 35, 40 passes a game. But I definitely want to see, him get it, at least get an opportunity to win this game.
There.
I'd like to see us utilize some of these younger players that we haven't seen all season. Let's see a Jalen Royals. You know what I mean? Let's see him. Let's see what he can do as a wide receiver. Let's see what Brashard Smith can do. Look, I know Andy and them, they're gonna try to win the ball game, which is fine. But this is gonna be the last time we see Matt Nagy. Look, let Matt Nagy call the offense or something. I mean, we need to see what these younger look. They're not going anywhere. And you're not gonna risk the veterans unless they're playing for some kind of contract incentive. You're not gonna. To me, I don't keep them. I don't let them play long. I maybe let them get the first quarter in, but the second, third, and fourth, I got to see all these young guys, all these younger draft picks that we got, and just let them play. I mean, let's see what they got to see what they can build on for next season. Because right about now, I mean, I don't have any faith that with Patrick, whenever Patrick comes back, that things are going to be any different if we don't get a chance to even see what these other players can contribute.
Right now, the Chiefs are predicted to pick ninth
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
draft coming up, and just want to see where you guys think they should go with this pick. First time they've
Said
been
I
this low in a
This
long
high,
time.
this high, this high.
This high,
Yeah,
yeah.
I said I said it earlier. It needs to be offensive lineman, needs to be either a very dominant guard or a tackle that's in the draft. And then you also could try to either get an edge rushed in the draft, late in the draft. Your second, third round picks. Because Darren reminded me of this Jalen Royals kid. Like why hasn't he seen any significant clock over the last couple of weeks? And again, I don't think you need another skill player. Like
Definitely don't need another wide receiver. If you get a wide receiver, it better be Carnell Tate. Other than that, you do not take a skilled player.
No skill player. Okay.
Not even running back. You don't. I mean, you're not gonna draft a Saquon Bar. You're not gonna find. You're not gonna. You're not gonna. You are not going to draft a Jeremiah Love that high. You're just not.
Mm. So if there's an Ashton Genty that high, would you take him?
why?
What
I
Ashton
mean,
Genty?
as far he's on a terrible team, but put
Who's
Ashton Genty on the Chiefs.
who's going to develop him as a running back? Because Andy Reid's going to line him up in 5 wide and screen past him and wildcat him to death. Like
So you're saying they need a
why?
already developed, ready-made running back?
No.
Mm.
You need to develop the backs that the stable of backs that you had. Hold up. Wouldn't it just pick your poison 6 weeks ago? Didn't everybody have to eat 6 weeks ago?
Running backs are a dime a dozen in this draft. Okay.
And not
Okay.
even
That's funny.
and LaCroix is right, because not even just in this draft, running backs are a dime a dozen in the league. Look what Ben Johnson just did with the Bears.
Mm. That's another discussion for another day, Q. I don't think they're a dime a dozen. I just don't.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Like running back in the NFL right now is like guards in the NBA. Like it's very rich in those areas.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So we got you said offensive line for the ninth pick. Darren, you say offensive line as well?
Oh,
I mean, because they just drafted an
No,
offensive lineman.
I,
I
I
think
would,
I
man.
think he gonna
So
be
Honestly,
fine.
drafting,
I would.
so
I mean, if
drafting
you
two young guys for Patrick's end of his career. Oh, the horror.
no, I would look. I mean, the way he's played. If you're not trading Chris Jones, I would draft somebody to go alongside with him, go on that line with him, because
Yeah.
I still don't think Carl Optis is making enough. Well, I don't think he's worth what they're paying him. He's not playing at the rate that they're paying him right now, as a first rounder. So, I don't think they're getting the money's worth for him. So I would draft. I draft a defensive tackle to go next to Chris Jones. Somebody, hopefully that will push Chris Jones to I mean, you've got to, because he's just not the same player.
And he could return to the Chris Jones that Chiefs Kingdom knows if he had some help out there, and especially on that front four. Like you get an edge rusher out there that's causing some havoc, is going to open up a lot more for Chris, and then Karlaftis can slack whenever he feels like it.
All right. We appreciate everyone who hung out with us on this late night edition.
We ain't picked the winner, Steve.
Yeah.
Do we need to? Do we need to?
Yes.
We really gotta pick a winner?
Predictions.
That's what we do.
All right, I got Chiefs. Who y'all got? Who y'all got?
I got the betters, because whoever bets on this game is desperate.
I'm gonna pick the Raiders this week.
I got the Chiefs. No,
Okay.
I got the Chiefs only because the Raiders are trying to lose the game.
Yeah. All right. Like I said before, we appreciate everyone who hung out with us on tonight's show. The Red R. I see LaCroix said he has the Chiefs 10-6. All right, that's a terrible score. But we appreciate everyone who hung out, watched us on the show tonight. As Monday Night Football rolls on, you got the tie ball game still, or no?
No, it's 27-24.
Okay. LA?
No.
Or no? Falcons.
Atlanta.
Falcons are up. Falcons are up. Okay. All right. Until next week, remember to like us on all of our platforms. We'll be back next week, 6:30 to 7:30 on our originally scheduled time for Monday nights. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace. One more time.